The United States of America is going through a great reckoning on a number of the facets of what it means to be an American. In the past, there were Republicans that I never questioned that their sincerity or their belief in the American system. And I think with the administration the way it's been, I think I'm not sure the man has took his oath seriously to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the.
He's not a politician, not a pundit, not even a loud voice on Twitter. But when Tom Hanks speaks, America listens. This isn't just an actor giving an opinion. This is the guy who played the face of honesty, of courage, of quiet heroism, suddenly questioning whether the President of the United States ever truly took his oath seriously. And when someone like him, a man who stood for America in everything from Normandy beaches to space missions, starts casting doubt on the system, you don't laugh, you listen, because maybe, just maybe, this isn't about left or right anymore. It's about something deeper, something broken. Maybe this isn't just about Trump or celebrities. Maybe this is about us, what we choose to see, what we choose to ignore, and who we choose to believe. If these voices made you think, if this story made you feel something, even for a second, then don't just scroll. Be part of the story. Subscribe, share, and let the next person hear what they were never meant to.
About the United States, in terms of its commitment to democracy and freedom and everything these people died for, if there's another Trump presidency?
I think there's always reason to be worried about the short term, but I look at the longer term of what happened. I think, look, our Constitution says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. That journey to a more perfect union has missteps in it. I can catalog them as much as you can, and you're a professional journalist, and I'm just a guy that makes movies and reads books.
Not a politician, not a scholar, just a man who reads books and tells stories. But when someone like this starts speaking about freedom, about sacrifice, you listen. Because this isn't about party lines or personal opinions, it's about the very thing people fought and died for, democracy itself. Worried not just about tweets or scandals, but about the cracks forming in the very foundation of what America is supposed to mean. A perfect union? Maybe not. But a better one? That's the promise. And every time truth is bent, every time fear wins, we take one more step away from that promise. Because sometimes history doesn't repeat itself. It warns us, and we still don't listen. Democracy isn't lost overnight. It fades. When good people stay quiet, and bad ones get louder.
Their sincerity or their belief in the American system. And I think with the administration the way it's been, I think I'm not sure the man has took his oath seriously to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
There's a difference between disagreement and doubt. Disagreement is politics, but doubt, that shakes the foundation. Because when someone like Tom Hanks, America's everyman, says he's not sure the president took his oath seriously, that's not an opinion. That's a warning shot. An oath is a promise. Break the promise, and you break the people's trust. When trust like that begins to crumble, you don't just lose faith in a man. You start losing faith in the system. And maybe that's the real danger. Not in what's being done, but in what we're slowly learning to accept.
Those sorts of circumstances and times, we have never turned to a simplistic, self-involved gas bag of a candidate.
America has faced wars, recessions, assassinations, but never, not once, has it turned to a man like this. Not a leader, not a visionary, just noise, ego, and empty air. When Tom Hanks, the voice of reason, calls out the madness, you know it's not just about politics anymore. It's about the kind of person we've let hold the mic, and the kind of silence we've accepted in return. We've had leaders we questioned, leaders we challenged, but never this. In the darkest chapters of American history, even then, we didn't turn to a man driven by ego, noise, and applause. That's not Twitter beef. That's Tom Hanks, calling out what millions feel, but few dare say. This isn't about one man. It's about what we've normalized, and what we've forgotten to be ashamed of.
About politics, you've obviously gotten involved in Joe Biden's election campaign. Why have you called this the most important election of our lives in the history of America?
Well, I don't. You don't have to pay too much attention to the news to realize the great divisions that's going on. I think the United States of America is going through a great reckoning on a number of the facets of what it means to be an American.
He's been the voice of astronauts, soldiers, heroes. But this time, Tom Hanks isn't playing a role. He's sounding the alarm. Not just supporting a candidate, but warning a country. This isn't just rhetoric. This is a man who's seen America from every lens. And now, he sees it cracking. A nation divided, truth buried under headlines, and identity reduced to hashtags and hate. Reckoning. Not a word you use lightly, not when history is watching. Because if this really is the most important election of our lives, what happens if we fail the test?
I'm not offended as a husband or a father. I'm offended as a guy. That's just not right. I'm sorry. It's not right at work. It's not right in the locker room. It's wrong. Period. The end. That's all.
Not as a husband, not even as a father, just as a man. That's where Tom Hanks drew the line. No spin, no slogans, just a simple truth. Some things are wrong. Full stop. He's not shouting, he's not performing, and that's what makes it land even harder. Because when decency feels rare and silence feels safer, the voice that says it's wrong, period, becomes the most powerful voice in the room.
A wife who is fantastic in every way, who has taught me what love is. 5 kids who are braver and stronger and wiser than their old man is.
Strip away the politics. Strip away the headlines, the scandals, the noise. What's left? Family, the people we fight for, and the ones who keep us human. This isn't a campaign speech. It's a man saying, I learned how to love because they showed me how. And maybe that's the difference. Tom Hanks doesn't measure strength in power. He measures it in love and in legacy. Because in the end, it won't be about what we said or who we voted for. It'll be about who we stood up for when it mattered most. This isn't just about Trump or celebrities or even politics. It's about who we become when the cameras are off, when no one's watching except our kids. So if this story moved you, don't scroll past it. Share it, talk about it, show someone, because silence isn't neutral and legacy is a choice.